Just imagine this, waking up one morning and you suddenly worth over $2 million. No warning, no preparation, just one ticket that changed everything. It sounds like a dream, right? But for one man, that dream quickly turned into something else. But not long after he won, someone came forward, claiming the ticket wasn't his. And if that was right, he could lose everything. This is the story of Edwin Castro and what really happens when you win the biggest lottery jackpot in history. Well, before the money, Edwin Castro was just a normal guy. He lived in California, worked a regular job, lived a quiet life. Nothing about him stood out, but that's what makes the story unsettling. People like Edwin doesn't expect their lives to change overnight. And when it doesn't always go the way you think. Because while everyone imagines winning the lottery, very few people think what comes after. The attention, the pressure, the risk, and in Edwin's case, the accusations. November 7th, 2022, the Powerball jackpot had reached a number so big it didn't feel real anymore. $2 billion. Across the United States, people rushed to buy tickets. They lined up outside stores, tickets sold by the millions. Everyone thinking the same thing. What if this is my moment? Then the numbers were drawn: 10, 33, 41, 47, and 56. The Powerball was 10, and just like that, one person became a billionaire overnight. But here where things get strange. No one came forward. Days passed, then weeks, still nothing. And the longer the silence lasted, the more people started asking questions. Was the ticket lost? Was it stolen? Or did the winner even know? Meanwhile, the location of the ticket was revealed. A small gas station in California. Now suddenly, the place became the center of attention. But the winner still missing. And that mystery was about to take an unexpected turn. February 14, 2023, Valentine's Day, the name was finally revealed: Edwin Castro.
Well, we finally know who won last November's record $2 billion Powerball lottery. His name is Edwin Castro. Lottery officials say Castro didn't want to come forward to keep his privacy, but they legally have to say his name.
A single winner, one person out of millions. But instead of stepping into the spotlight, he did the opposite. He disappeared. No interviews, no press conference, nothing. Just lawyers. And that decision made people even more curious. Because now the question wasn't, how did he win? It became, why is he hiding? The jackpot was advertised as $2 billion, but Edwin didn't take that. He chose a lump sum, about $997 million. Then taxes hit hard, 37% gone, leaving him with roughly $628 million. Still massive, still life-changing. But here's where the real question began. What happened with his mindset? When you go from the average to the ultra-wealthy overnight? Because money doesn't just change your life, change how the world sees you. And sometimes, that's where the real problem begins. The first major sign of change came through real estate. A $25.5 million mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Glass wall, city view, infinity pool. This wasn't just a house, it was a statement. Overnight, he went from a small apartment to living among celebrities. But what he did next caught people off guard. He bought another home for $4 million, which was located back in his old neighborhood. Completely different from the mansion, and many believe this one was for his parents, which changed the narrative again. Maybe he was still grounded, but that idea would soon be tested, because then he spent $47 million on another property, and this one was extreme. 7 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, glass bridge. This was luxury beyond imagination. The criticism started: too much, too fast. He was going to lose it all. The phrase lottery curse started coming up. Just when people thought this was only about money, something much bigger happened. Because Edwin wasn't just rich now, he was exposed. Bodyguards, security system, private protection. Because when you have that much money, you become a target. And sometimes that target isn't just physical, sometimes it's legal. Then it happened. A man named Jose Rivera claimed the ticket wasn't Edwin's. He said it was stolen, that he was a real winner. Now think about that. If the claim was true, everything Edwin had would disappear. The house, the money, the life, gone. The case moved forward, tension rising, people watching closely. But then, cracks began to show. No ticket, no solid evidence. Under Californian law that changes everything, Edwin stayed silent. His legal team handled everything, and slowly the story began to fall apart. Claims dismissed, arguments collapsing, until finally the case was over and Edwin Castro remained the rightful owner. Today, Edwin Castro is still rarely seen. No interviews, no spotlights. He won the biggest jackpot in history, but what came with it was something most people never thought about. Pressure, attention, and risk, and the constant possibility that everything could have been taken away. Because in the end, winning the lottery might just be the easiest part. Living with it is something else entirely. Subscribe for more true life stories.